Have you ever been doing a performance and made a mistake and that almost derails your entire performance? Well, I am going to teach you how to overcome that, give you some strategies to not have that happen, and also make your practicing much more effective and efficient. My name is Josh Gu, and after years of studying the clarinet with some of the best teachers from around the world, I am excited to be sharing my knowledge with you. So go to QuickStartClarinet.com or check the description on this video to see all of the wonderful resources I have to help you reach your clarinet dreams. And of course, subscribe to this channel for weekly clarinet and music tips and tricks. This has happened to me many times in the past, and I see it happen to other people quite commonly, and it even sometimes happens to me in the present as well. But it's really, really common to sort of be doing your performance and you get to a tricky spot and maybe it doesn't go quite as well as you'd like, and then you're sort of stuck thinking on that and being like, oh man, I wish I had done that better, that was a big mistake. And oftentimes we go through performances sort of in our mental as we're going through it. It's sort of going from mistake to mistake, and that's always a really unsatisfying way to play, and that'll leave you at the end of the performance thinking, oh, I did this wrong and this wrong and this wrong, and it's just really unsatisfying to play that way. Now, the reason why that happens is because in order to be a good player and a good clarinetist, you kind of have to do that when you're practicing. That's the whole point of practicing, is to notice mistakes, polish up little issues in your playing, so we train ourselves to do just that and always be listening for mistakes, listening for the opportunities to improve. And it's not really possible to just turn that off for a performance. So that's why we always go into performances having this little bit of nervousness or this sense of, I hope I don't make too many mistakes, like what are going to be all of the issues that we make, because we need to do that when we're practicing. Now, the solution to fix this is that we actually need to practice performing. So for me, I call my practice two different things. Sometimes I'm in practice mode. Practice mode is where if I make a mistake, I stop and fix it. And then sometimes I'm in performance mode. And performance mode is trying to play exactly how I hope the performance will go. So I'm running straight through it, not making any stops no matter what happens, and training my brain to stay in the moment with the music rather than getting distracted by mistakes or being concerned about the hard part coming up. And it's actually a really important skill to develop. Now let me give a little bit more concrete example of the difference between practice mode and performance mode, because if you can really master these two things, it will not only make you more confident in performances and help you to stay in the moment while you're performing, but it will also improve the efficiency and effectiveness of your practicing. So I think the issue is a lot of times most people live somewhere in the middle between practice mode and performance mode, where you'll play through your music, you might make some mistakes, and then eventually you make so many mistakes you're like, oh, I should stop and probably fix something and work on something. So you're sometimes ignoring mistakes, sometimes not ignoring mistakes, and it's this weird middle ground. I think if you can go really firmly into practice mode when you're practicing, where every single time you make a mistake, you stop and fix it, and you're really clear about being in that practice mode where you're gonna fix those mistakes. I'm actually going to do a video probably next week or in the next couple weeks talking about why it's so important to stop and fix your mistakes. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and hit the bell icon to get notified when that video comes out. But this idea of being in practice mode is really, really important. So what it looks like for me when I'm in practice mode is I'll sit down, I have a clear plan of what I'm going to practice. So say I'm doing the first half of a page or the first two phrases of a piece, and I sit down and I start playing it, and if I make a mistake, then I'll stop and fix it. That's the whole point of practicing, is to catch your mistakes, stop and fix them, and that's how you end up improving over time, is that you catch all of those little details, and the more you put those together and get comfortable, consistent, and confident with them, then the better off you'll be with actually making it correct when the performance time does come. Now, obviously in this practice mode, you're going to be really paying attention to what you're doing and really conscientious of making mistakes and always catching it right away. I think often we don't catch it well enough, so it's important to like really be picky about yourself, and if anything doesn't go the way that you want it, or even if it sounds okay but you didn't feel really in control and really confident making it sound okay, then you stop, you do it again, you use the 3 eyes of practicing, you simplify it, you break it down, you build it back up, you get it going really well, and that's what practicing is all about. Now, to shift to performance mode, you almost have to do the complete opposite of that. Practice mode, stop, catch everything. Performance mode is where you go through it as if it's a true performance. And this is where you start at the top. It doesn't have to be the whole piece. It can be the same section, 2 phrases, half a page, whatever you're doing. And you go in and you perform it as if you're playing for an audience. You could play for a recording device to give that little extra nervousness of having to perform. But the goal of performance mode is not to completely ignore the mistakes. Like you'll never be able to not think about the mistakes, and you don't want to catch yourself thinking, oh, I made a mistake, but don't think about it, because that's just as bad as thinking about the mistake. But what you want to do in performance mode is try to be as in the moment as possible. My best performances are always when I'm just thinking about making music and letting the beautiful music happen. So that's exactly what you want to be doing when you're in that performance practice, is just running through it, hearing the music in your head, making the music come out through the instrument, just as exactly how you want it to go in the performance. Now, in terms of going between practice and performance mode, you don't have to actually learn the whole piece and have everything performance ready before you start doing performance mode. In fact, it's great to do just little sections in performance mode. It's all about training your brain to be in the moment. Now, as far as time dedication, definitely practicing in the practice mode is going to take you a lot more time, because that's where the work really happens. So for me, I tend to split it up about 90% of the time in practice mode, 10% of the time in performance mode to sort of finish it off. Maybe 75-25 if I'm getting closer to the performance and feeling really confident with the piece, but it's still a big majority of practice mode, and then just a little bit of performing to really practice that performance, so that when the actual real performance in front of real people happens, I'm ready and confident to make it work. So I hope that this has been helpful and gives you a new idea. I really want you to sort of question yourself the next time you're practicing and ask yourself, am I in practice mode? Am I in performance mode? Am I somewhere in between? The in between isn't super helpful because you're learning to ignore mistakes but still also getting distracted by mistakes. So you want to really create that clear separation and ask yourself, am I catching all the mistakes, or am I staying in the moment and just playing through the music and performing? So good luck with that. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. I'm also fully set up, so this is my new setup for hopefully a while now. If you liked the music on my stand like I had in my old setup, leave a comment with that and I could certainly start doing that again if you like. I do kind of like the cleaner setup myself, I think, but it is sometimes fun to sort of see what I've been working on. But thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you like this kind of content, and I look forward to seeing you in another video.